Hey, MathKook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathKook it up. This question says, determine if the function f of x equals 3x all over x squared minus 15 is even, odd, or neither. So let's take a look at the definitions of an even or an odd function. So an even function has y-axis symmetry. So we can look at that for this example here, y equals x squared, which is the most famous even function. If you take half this graph, half of the parabola here, and flip it over the y-axis, it lands directly on itself. So therefore, this graph here has y-axis symmetry. And if you plug in negative x in place of x for an even function, it will equal the original function. Now for an odd function, it has origin symmetry. So that's right here. So notice for the most famous odd function is y equals x cubed. There's a point 2,8 on it, and then also negative 2 minus 8. So every point, the x and the y value just switch signs, and that other point should be on the graph. So if 2,8 is on the graph, then negative 2 minus 8 should also be on the graph. And to tell if a function is odd, you plug in negative x in place of x, and if it equals exactly the opposite, this negative here, so exactly the opposite as the original function, then the function is odd. And if neither of these two scenarios happen, then it's neither. All right, let's take a look at our f of x here, and we'll plug in negative x wherever we see an x, and then simplify. So there's an x on top, so we'll plug in a negative x there. And then on the bottom, there's another x, so we'll plug in negative x there. And then simplify. So on top we have 3 times negative x, which equals negative 3x. Then on the bottom, we have negative x quantity squared. So because we have a negative squared, that's a negative times a negative, which is positive. So this is positive x squared minus 15. All right, so now is where we want to start comparing our function here to the original function. So notice the bottom is exactly the same. In the top, there's a negative, and there's only one term up top. So I'm going to rewrite this to kind of help us out, give us like a better look of what's happening. This negative here, I'm going to write in the front. So I'm going to write like this, negative 3x all over x squared minus 15. So now it's a little bit more obvious what's happening. So our original function is this, and if you compare it to our f of negative x, notice it's exactly the same function, but there's a negative out front. That's what an odd function is. So that tells us that f of x here is odd. So this guy here, so this is negative f of x. All right, so that tells us that f of x is odd. So there's our answer. Let's look at another example. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.